Hey everybody, happy Friday. I'm hoping that some of you can join live since it's noon. I'm hoping maybe you're on your lunch break and you can join us live for just a little bit. I'm going to keep today's topic, I'm going to try to keep it really focused and not so lengthy. I know we live in a crazy world. We're all trying to, get all of this natural, healthy information as quickly as we can. So many of you are probably going to need to watch the recording because I know you're probably busy on a Friday at noon. So I'm going to try to keep it brief. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. If you are able to join us live, or even if you're not, type any questions you have in the comments. I'll be happy to respond if you're on here live, or come back and answer some of those comments. So as you know, today our topic is 3 easy things that you can do to improve your child's health. And as I was thinking about this, there were so many things that came to mind, but I thought, okay, what are 3 of the biggest things that as moms, that's what we want to do. We want to improve our child's health and give them the best possible, the best opportunity for a healthy life possible. So the first thing I would say is open conversations. Now that kind of probably seems like, well, what do you mean by that? Open conversations about health in general. So I think that, if we can empower our kids and educate them on the importance of making healthy choices, then they're much more likely to do that as they grow, and just to kind of, if we instill those qualities in them, then they're more likely to pick up on that at a young age and then carry that throughout their life. So 2 areas that I think this is really important is with food, and I know we talk a lot about food, but if you think about it, really, the saying is true. Every time we put something into our body, we are either feeding disease or fighting it. And I know, all of us have a desire to eat things that, make our body healthier and more vibrant. And we certainly don't want to be eating things that are feeding disease or feeding those to our children. We can't always be in control of what our kids are doing, right? Maybe you have a babysitter or a family member watching them, and they're not even always in control of their choices. So this is why I really think that instilling those qualities in them early on is crucial. So I want to kind of give you a little bit of an example of how this worked for me, and when it really kind of clicked in my brain that I can't depend on other people to feed my kids healthy food. So one day my kids were at a ball practice, and I went to pick them up, and the coach said to me, I don't know if they're just not feeling good today. They just are really kind of dragging and not able to focus really well. I'm not sure what's going on. And she even said, I don't know what they ate before they came. And since I hadn't been with them, I was at work, I said, well, what did you guys have before you came to practice? And they had some food, a meal, but then they also had a milkshake. And so I said, okay, well, we need to think about that next time and the choices that we make before we go out, especially to a practice and are being really physically active. So we get in the car and I start to talk to them about that. And I said, and they were very thirsty. They didn't have any water. They were thirsty. And so got them some water. And I said, so I told them, let's do a little experiment, guys. So next time, the next practice, let's just, eat something healthy that has some protein in it. And then I want you to just choose water to drink. Don't choose a milkshake, get some water and take it to practice with you, and then let's see how you feel afterwards. So kids love to do stuff like that. They love little fun experiments. So they were like, okay. So we go, next time they have practice, they decide that they'll choose water. And I go to pick them up and they are like, Mom, we feel so much better. I mean, we can really tell a difference. So to me, that was just a very small way of just sort of proving to them basically that these healthy choices are important and that they are able to make the choices for themselves, because really that's what kids want, right? They want to have a choice in the matter. So I'll give you another kind of example. I know a lot of kids don't like water, mine included. It has been a struggle for me, especially with my daughter, to get her to drink more water over years' time. She's doing better and better. She just doesn't like to drink a lot. And if our kids aren't staying hydrated, they're not able to mentally perform in school as well as they could, and certainly not physically perform in, extracurricular activities as they could, as at as high of a level as they could. So staying hydrated is of course crucial. So what I have done is, if let's say we're at some sporting event and they want some type of sports drink, our world, we're programmed to, grab this Gatorade or Powerade or soda. And so what I tell them is, you can have, say, a Gatorade after you have this container of water, whether it's 12 ounces, 16 ounces, what have you. And that's kind of my compromise with them. I'll allow them to have one, but it has to be after, they've drank their water. And one way to really make the water a little more tasty is you can put some essential oils in their water. You can also just fill a glass container with some type of fruit, whether it's, lemon or orange or a combination, or maybe berries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. Put it in the refrigerator and let it sit overnight. And then you can send that to school with the kids to drink throughout the day. They may not love it at first, but I guarantee that when they're thirsty throughout the day, they're going to drink that water. And that's what, I have found that, things like this might be a little bit difficult in the beginning, but anything that's worth it is probably going to be a little bit difficult. So you're going to meet some resistance, but really just instilling those qualities in them and having the conversations of why these things are important, and not just, here, take this or eat this or drink this because I said so or because it's good for you. Really talking to them and letting them, help them to understand how they feel, how much better they feel when they do make those healthy choices. So then the other thing, open conversations, that I wanted to mention today is about activity. So we know that childhood obesity, unfortunately, is really on the rise. And, today's society, there's so much screen time, right? Kids just want to get on iPads or play games or watch TV. And not that that's always bad. I think that if we can limit that, then of course that's ideal. So I like to have sort of a compromise, or use that, I was going to say a compromise with my kids, or use that as sort of a reward. So again, I'm just sharing things that I have found that I have kind of tweaked and have worked for me over time. So what we do when my kids get home from school is I allow them, let them have a snack and allow them to have about 30 minutes to kind of just do whatever they want to. They've been sitting in school all day. They can kind of do whatever they want to for about 30 minutes. After that, if we don't have some type of, practice or something like that, then they have to do something physically active. So they either have to do, they have to go ride their bike, swim, do some type of workout routine. And then later on, they can have 30 minutes or an hour of iPad or TV or what have you. But the activity is so, so, so important, and instilling that in them at an early age will really, I think, take them far in life. Now, that kind of brings me to something that I was thinking about when I was making some notes on this. Kids want to do what they see us adults doing, right? What seems fun. So what we started a couple of years ago was we started, our kids would see us exercise, and we started incorporating them into our exercise routine. So just bringing them in with us and showing them how to do proper exercises. They're not too young for that. If you have a smaller child, just going outside, encouraging them to ride their bike or play a kickball game with them or something like that, anything fun and active. But if they see you doing these things and modeling this behavior and see how important it is and how good you feel after, then they're going to pick up on those qualities and or pick up on those habits, and that's going to carry them throughout life. So that's kind of one of our little requirements, is that the kids, choose some type of physical activity when they get home. And then if they want to get on a device, then that's kind of their reward. So just to kind of recap, number one is keeping those conversations open about food and activity and just how important those things are and how they have the choice throughout their life. They're going to have so many choices, but just letting them know that up front and modeling that behavior for them, I think it is really key. So my number 2 tip, easy thing that you can do right now to improve your child's health, is to improve their gut health. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, you probably all have heard gut health, right? Well, about 70 to 80% of our immunity lives in our stomach or in our gut. So if we don't have good digestive or gut health, then we most likely don't have a great immune system, so that we're not able to fight off, the common colds and diseases that are kind of coming at us. Kids going back to school, it's about to be, winter or fall at least, hopefully. And, we're exposed to more, there are more germs kind of going around then. So we want to improve their immunity as much as possible. So I found the easiest thing to do in regards to that is to have them take probiotics. Now, what I've used in my kids up until just recently is a probiotic called the brand is Garden of Eden. You probably have heard of that before. And it's a powder form. I mean, there are lots of good brands out there. I'm just sharing with you ones that I've found that are good. But it has no taste. You can put it in oatmeal, smoothies, I've even put it in milk before, and it has no taste. So, they drink that again, good bacteria in the stomach, helps to fight off disease, increases the immune system. And it also helps to digest food. Nowadays, the conditions of our soil and all of the pesticides and these genetically, modified organisms, the condition of our soil that our food is grown in is not ideal. It's not what it was hundreds of years ago. And so we really need these, probiotics and good bacteria to help us digest and absorb our food. So what I have of recent started using, and those of you who use doTERRA know, and if you have kids, you're probably super excited as I was about this. doTERRA has just come out with this PB Assist, this probiotic. It comes in these little individual satchels, and this is one serving. They say that, so the recommendation is age 4 and up. But I do know people who have been giving probiotics and will give these to their kids as early as age 1. So, kids need, even if it's a half dose, kids need this good bacteria. These things taste delicious. I tasted one. It's really kind of tastes like a little sugar packet. So the kids love these. So whatever brand you choose, incorporate more probiotics and good bacteria into their diet for better immunity. Now, the last thing that you can do to improve your child's health right now is to help them get a good night's rest, a restful night's sleep. Preschoolers age 3 to 5, they need about 10 to 13 hours of sleep. School age kids, anywhere from 6 to 13, they need about 9 to 11 hours of sleep. So really kind of think, are your kids getting enough sleep? Think about your routine, and when they go to bed, when they wake up, are they getting the recommended amount of sleep based on their age? Because we know that when we sleep, that helps to not only detoxify our body, it helps to sort of rejuvenate and repair. Our cells are rejuvenating and repairing. You know, there are so many stressors in the world that are thrown at us and our kids on a daily basis that, especially their little growing bodies, can't even process sometimes. It's so hard. So getting the proper amount of rest and sleep is really going to help them function at a higher level, not only in school, emotionally, but also physically. So really promoting good sleep. Now, a couple of ideas for helping them to get a good night's sleep. You know, think to yourself, are your kids waking up all throughout the night? Are they waking you up? Which is a whole nother problem, right? Because you need your rest too to function at a high level. So are they sleeping through the night? Are they waking you up? You know, are they getting a really good night's sleep? A couple of things. Number one, kids love, even though they wouldn't readily admit it if they could, they love routine and they need routine. Kids actually, I was reading a book one time talking about how kids actually thrive on routine. They don't know it, but that's what they need. They need to know boundaries and they need to know what the routine is. So I would just encourage you to develop, if you don't already have a good nightly routine, develop a nightly routine that they don't have to question, that they just know this is what happens before bed. It will help them to wind down. So I'll just kind of give you what our nightly routine is, but of course you've got to find what works for you and what age your kids are. So about 8:30, the kids go and have a bath and, you know, just get cleaned up, and then they get a book and they read for a little bit, and then before they go to bed, after they're done reading for about 20 or 30 minutes, then before they go to bed, I used to, and I still do this some, I used to diffuse lavender essential oil in their room on their bedside table. Cedar wood is another great one to diffuse, just to help promote a restful night's sleep. But what they've been really wanting me to do, which I'm actually loving, is they want me to rub lotion on their feet. They just love to have, just like you and I, love to have a foot massage, right? So they want me to rub lotion on their feet, and I place a drop of lavender. I brought this in here just so I could show you. I use doTERRA's unscented body lotion, and then so I'll put just a little bit of that in my hand, drop of lavender, and then I just rub it on their feet. And honestly, it just really relaxes them, and they are asleep. And then I tuck them in bed, and they're asleep within, I would say, 1 to 2 minutes. They sleep through the night and they're well rested in the morning. That's the other thing that you want to take note of. When your kids get up, are you like having to drag them out of bed, or are they really well rested? So healthy rest is huge. So try to start implementing some type of routine, maybe use some essential oils to just help promote restful sleep. So I'm just going to recap now the three easy things that you can do to improve your child's health. Number one, those open conversations about health in general, about why making healthy choices with food, nutrition, water intake, with exercise and activity, why those things are so important, and how they'll carry these things, throughout life with them. And you know as well as I do, we have to kind of model that behavior for them. We can't tell them you have to go exercise if we're not doing it ourselves. So really trying to instill those good qualities in them. Number two is gut health. So getting them those probiotics, get them on a probiotic, do it every day. Just test it out. Again, fall, winter is coming. Test it out. See if you notice a difference from this year to, say, last year, of how many, colds or upper respiratory infections that your kids get. So test that out. And then number three, again, healthy sleep, healthy rest. Develop that nightly routine that they know they can depend on. And honestly, it makes your whole house just run smoother if there is no question as to, at this time, we're going to go have a bath, read, go to bed and they can just wind down. So I hope that these things have helped you, and please feel free to ask any questions, any feedback, any comments, and I will see you guys on the next Facebook Live. Have a good weekend. Bye.